Welcome, everyone. I have Brit here today. She's a client of mine that we met like a month ago, right, Brit? And she's going to tell us her story about how hypnotherapy helped her to be in a better position and be a better Brit today. Thank you, Brit, for being so kind and share your story. Your story, I am sure, is going to help so many people and inspire so many people that there is a way for you to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Monica, for allowing me to, do the testimonial this way, because for the past couple of weeks, I've been like, I have to give Monica a review. And then I thought about like writing on Google, and I'm like, okay. I mean, but people skim through those reviews in 2 seconds. They're like, all right, great, 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 great. Looking for the one bad, great, 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 great. And I wanted to leave something for people that was a little bit more profound and impactful.
Yes, thank you so much. So what was the reason that made you call me in the first place? Because I remember that we met a month ago, but prior to that we met because I have a 30 minutes intake conversation. So for us to understand, so you called me perhaps 2 months ago around?
So exactly. So the reason why I reached out to you was because I was aware of what my challenges were. Like, I was fully aware. I could identify them. I could label them. I could categorize them. I could bullet point details behind it. Like, I knew what was going on. I also knew that I could not, get to another level of healing without help, because of how deep my own, trauma. And I really think, it's a mix of like trauma and just toxicity that I've been looking to purge for the past like 5-6 years, since I've had like my own, spiritual awakening and tapping into who I truly am, not being defined by others, and really, really letting go of some really, toxic generational patterns that I inherited, that, now I have children, now I have this responsibility to purge and release. And it has been, oh my God, like challenging. I mean, people, talk about, having a warrior spirit and really going this journey. But when you are really in like a spiritual battle, oh my God, man, I think the biggest thing it's hard and it's real. It's a thing that it cannot be reduced. It cannot be, just discarded or avoided either. I think that's the big thing to avoid it. There was no avoiding it, right?
No, the more you avoid it, the more it goes chasing you.
Impossible. And I had to realize that I had real dreams that I want to manifest. I have real goals that I want to hit. I have a real life that I really believe in. And this is in my path, is in my way, and I want it out of my way.
You mentioned that you are very knowledgeable in your spiritual awakening. You have been learning so many skills and tools and this and that, and you were applying or trying to apply, and you couldn't overcome that wall, right?
I couldn't cover it. It was almost like attempting to, climb over 100-foot wall, and I got one rope, and it's just me. So after a while, the pressure knocks you right back down.
Yes, I remember 2 months ago when we spoke, you were pretty down, no, at that time, that you were very down. That's all I can say, emotionally depleted. So it was hard to see you like that, because it was not only you, but your kids as well, no?
Yeah, my daughter, specifically my oldest daughter, she, narcissism has run rampant, in our families and what we've come through. And it's to the point now where it's like really head to head, where we're battling it face on, head to head, because what happens is it's been passed down for so much, so easily, without thought, without true awareness, that now, to say no, to block it, takes real strength, takes real, empowerment, takes real tools, takes real awareness to say, no, not my daughter. And you can't block every blow, so she's getting hit.
Yes.
She's getting,
and it's like you say, it's awareness, because the problem is that it's passed from generation to generation that you don't even know that you had it. And you keep suffering and you keep asking why, but you don't realize the why, right?
Exactly. And then, and the why is so deep. The why is 3-4 layers down. Remember, we went back a couple, generations in the session, and because it starts from there. And then that, so the great grandma, couldn't heal it. The great grand, the next one didn't heal it all the way, and with each generation, some things fall off, because I do believe that, I have much respect and much love to my ancestors, because I believe that the battles that they had were there's no need to compare, but I know that they had their battles. I know that they did all they could with what they knew. I just knew it was my turn. I knew it was, knew it was my turn, and what was mine to deal with was mine to deal with. So I knew, like you said, I had to get help. So a good friend of mine started to talk to me about different healing methods. And it was one called angelic healing, where I believe they say they kind of take this light and, and just light it up on your wound. And it's like like a sort of a Reiki thing, where the good energy just slides through the wound. And it sounded nice, but I knew that mine was a little bit deeper. I knew that specifically. I knew that was one thing I had to stop doing. I had to stop comparing and doing things that other people were doing when the symptoms and the story wasn't in alignment with mine, looking for similarities, right? So when it came across yours with the hypnotherapy, yours talked about removal of of an entity, or of a energy, like just like a presence within you moving it, and since then, after that, what I found is that I was showing up as my true self more and more. So what was happening is what always happens. Whenever in my life, when there were times where I've taken a stand and showed up as my true self, I would get beat down because it would bother so many people around me.
Yes.
I mean, it would bother them so much. I would get attacked.
And then you suffer because you think that is you. The problem is you. That's the problem. When you think that is you and you take it personal. But they attack you because it's a reflection of whatever they are suffering, they are going through. It's a reflection. And that's where the conflict begins, that we all think that it's our fault. But that fault, that guilt is passed from generation to generation until you know it, until you stop it, until you realize and go through the work that you went through. That is very powerful. Nobody says hypnotherapy is easy, because it's not, right?
It's not for the faint of heart either. I had to realize and accept that a lot of people do not want to change. They do not want to heal. They do not want to get better. They'd rather stay in their comfortable suffering.
Yes, it's the loop. The loop of suffering is the constant suffering. But sometimes it's because they don't even realize, they don't even know. So I don't know if you remember when I told you that you came because it was your time to heal. Because sometimes there are, we keep going through that process, and I have get into calls from people, so many people that they call me, but then they realize it's not their time, so they don't come to the session. And that's okay, because we all have a time, and the time will come when the time is right. So for you, so that time when was right for you, because you were, after you called me the first time, you kind of like think, you thought about this coming or not. Like you said, you were comparing the different modalities, healing modalities, because there are so many. And the one that resonated with you was hypnotherapy, because out of the many modalities, all help. Don't get me wrong, everything helps in a different way. But what I do, the hypnotherapy, is that's why I love it, because the profound changes and transformations that I have seen are incredible. It's out of chart.
It is. It's what happens is it's like like, what's the best way to describe it? Since I've taken I've been able to find my self-peace and my self-love quicker.
Yes.
Then, it doesn't take me 2 weeks, doesn't take me things. Doesn't mean that I'm still not navigating things. I mean, since then, like, just to give you some tangible changes in my life, I've left my job.
No, wow.
Yeah, I left my job because I saw the writings on the wall. I saw that it was becoming a sinking ship. I saw people changing. I saw
Yes.
people like, you know, where things that used to be okay, where it was light and great, weren't anymore. And I saw the pressure coming down,
Mhm.
and I left at the right time.
Yes.
Not too soon, because before my impulsion, my fight or flight would kick in, and I would run,
Yes.
run. This time I didn't run because I saw it, so I prepared.
That's good. Amazing. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Brit. That is an amazing news. And remember that I told you
Yeah.
too, that when you come to the session, you're here, like energy wise is negative energy, negative emotions. So you are down here, and everything around you, your work, family, friends, everything, every experience is vibrating at the same vibration as you are. So once you start doing hypnotherapy, you let go of all that charge, of that heavy weight. So everything is going to start changing, because this is not aligning with you anymore. So new opportunities, new things are going to come to you, people, experiences, new things. So that's exciting what you're telling me, because this is just the beginning of many,
I
many beautiful things.
I know, and it's like what I've also do, my thinking has expanded. My thinking has expanded with more duality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, much more duality, in a way where I've realized that multiple truths are existing at once, and the power of free will is literally like choosing which truth you're going to live in. Like, where am I going to like embody? Where am I going to put myself? Where am I going to lead my daughter to? That's been the tricky part with my daughter. She's 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not her, you know, and I think that's when you become a mom. And it's not that, it's just that you do have a lot more control when they're small. If they're in something, you just pick them up and do this. But when they're 13, there's no more picking them up. There's no more, you know, control of anything. So there's this dance of surrender and boundaries that, you know, in a healthy way for her, because she's going through her own battle, her own spiritual battle, her own, you know, mental battle, and also, like, you know, just a real battle with her relatives that is really, really complex, and it's really, you know, difficult to manage. And it's the thing that I just know that I just don't give up on, you know.
Exactly.
Honestly, Monica, you know, I've had to be like, okay, well, what is a mistake? You know, what is the mistake? And I'm like, I'm not making it, because anything that I've done that didn't yield in a positive, or anything that I've done, even if it came from negative emotion, like, I know how to spin it back around. Because I think that's where the imperfection comes from, is we try to be perfect. Like, no negative emotion, no anger, no shame, no guilt. Like those things are still a part of the human experience. It's just simply, it's just simply you don't live in them. You don't embody them at every waking moment. So it's like the transmutation, the transmuting, the following, like, you know, ancient wisdom inside of us, when you see it and not running away from it. So I'm like literally witnessing my daughter purge, and I see why so many mothers have turned a blind eye to it. But in turning that blind eye, we've just been reprocreating the same pain, over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
So literally under the full moon, I watched her release. I watched, and I held her hand, and I did it, and I knew that. And I'm like, you know, no one wants to watch that child in pain. But when you understand pain, when you truly understand it, and you're like, oh, it's spiky energy passing through. I think that's what it is. It's very spiky.
Exactly. And it's acceptance. It's accepting your pain, that when you accept it, then you realize that it's not as painful as you thought, because the avoidance is that spike keeps pricking, pushing. That spike is all the time there. But if you allow it to pass, it pass. You understand? It pass. So that's the beauty.
It does pass. And then when it passes, a new concept I learned is that when it passes, all right, move forward. Don't go back to it. Move forward.
Because you learned. You learn.
Yes.
So you take that pain or that obstacle as a stepping stone for the next step. So that's the beauty. I always say, it's funny, but I compare life with like video game. You know, in a video game, You have the life, then you gain tools based on skills, tools based on your performance. So this is life, exactly the same. You gain tools, you gain skills, and then you go to the next level. So always going up, up. So what's the next level for you? As a new job, new opportunities. So
Oh
you see your
yeah.
daughter and your kids from a new light. So you know now how to be a better mom, not just the mom
Mhm.
that you always wanted to be, that you wish to be, but you didn't know how, but now you know how. So you are this guide to your kids. Is amazing. So I always say that this kind of therapy not only affects the person that comes, but the family members and all the people around, because we are this antenna that we are always broadcasting energy, good, bad, negative, positive. Is that, and we are affecting positively or negatively people around us, even if we
Mm.
don't realize, even we don't want to. So that's the emotional hygiene that we need to follow and be aware of. So how do I want to get up this morning? What is the purpose of this, my life today? What is my intention today? It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a bad day. Who am I going to be to make a different world today? So that's profound. So it's not only coming to the session, but it's the entire world of things that come after, right?
Exactly. Because even my daughter, she's like, she's had some really great moments. She's growing in her friendships. She's like, getting out more. So it's like I said, it's just that heavy duality. What I've realized is like, you have to walk through that fire in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You walk through that fire, and then like what so where I'm headed at now is into the unknown. I don't know where. And honestly, Monica, this is the part that still is a little tricky for me, because the thing is, it's like I had to realize, a healing session isn't a one fix all. There's still some moments where are going to feel a little like tricky, because, there's some habits like, I came to you and I was so concerned about like marijuana. I was like, oh my God, like I was so thinking that this and things like that. When I realized the underlying addiction was really like my workaholism, so addicted to work. Like it was almost becoming like and my cousin told me this. She said, Brittany, work isn't a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, not the way I was running to it. It's like the first thing I think up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
right. It's right there. Like, what is my task? Am I off task? Am I off path? I'm not going to make it, because I didn't do work last night. I'm a day behind. I'm hours behind. I'm behind. I'm
Exactly.
behind. I'm behind.
And you were behind.
Even,
So that's the mentality, behind. There is no way to move forward. And that's a problem too, as we run away from our traumas and emotions, then we find outlets. Marijuana, we find outlets at working, we find outlets drinking, we find so many outlets, smoking, eating. So there are so many outlets that we find to satisfy that, running away from that trauma, from that episode, from those moments that we don't want to face. So that's when you head on, face everything with what you have, bring awareness to the moment, and then you can control what you want to do in reality and how you want to use your time, control your life, gain that control.
exactly. And what I'm realizing is that, slowly, right? Like slowly approaching what it is I want to do and allow it to unfold. And when I do that, the anxiousness of really being honest with myself about what I need. I would feel guilty about needing a night off. I would feel guilty about really needing rest. I would feel guilty about really needing fun. Like no, I haven't earned fun yet. I don't deserve fun just
Yes.
yet. I haven't hit
Yes.
that money goal. I haven't, I didn't finish writing the business plan. I haven't learned AI. Like I haven't, I didn't earn it. I didn't earn it. I didn't earn it,
You keep
because
punishing yourself. So it's this, the low self-esteem, the lack of self-love, lack of self-compassion. So, but when you learn that you are your priority, that you are the foundation of your life, then everything changes around you, because you give the importance to you. So you give that to your kids, to your family, to people around. So it's like ripple effect. I always say this kind of therapy is always the ripple effect, and it's the
It
beauty.
is. It is, because it's kind of like so you think of a whipple, you think of a wave. So it's like these waves of like love are like washing up underneath me and sweeping up underneath my feet. So every time I reach for something, like when I reach for my work and I don't feel it, when I reach for my work, when I reach for my laptop just to do it from a place of survival, I can't get there.
There is no way.
When I can't get there, when guilt or doubt raises because I'm literally navigating, because I'm literally using tools, like even when we talk about the marijuana and things like that, I'm like, okay, this is a plant. I found like other herbs and other things. I found healthier ways to, consume, because it's really, really, helping me. I don't want to get on any antidepressant medicine. I don't want to get on any type of like high prescriptions. I don't want to do any of those things. I'm journaling, I'm meditating, but man, it's blow after blow after blow after blow. And I'm like, man, listen, I'm not going to lose my mind or lose my temper because of things, because I'm like, it's like a real life attack. Someone's hurting my child. Someone's spreading lies about me. Someone's spreading rumors about me. I go to work and I'm being like, lied to. I can't, it's untrustworthiness everywhere I turn. It's, it's this, my son is, going through this cost. Oh my God, the bills, what's real, what's not, like the news, like, what I'm saying? So it's like all these, these things. And I'm like, what's real? So I'm like, then I fall into nature, I go outside. I look at the pond. There's been times when I was at work and I would go and just stand on a tree before I would go back in, before I would go back into that, this simulation, like this office where there's just fluorescent lights, there's no sunlight.
I know.
You're in there 10 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying? You're literally like in a prison.
Breathing the same air. Yeah, it is a prison. That's one of the reasons why I left corporate. It was for me, I couldn't, but then I follow my true calling, that's the hypnotherapy. That's obviously I went through my journey myself. As a yoga instructor, then hypnotherapist, but doing all that stuff, and it's like it's awakening. It's an entire new. It's removing the veil and see the world that it's been in front of you, but you couldn't see it. You couldn't because you haven't done the work that you need to do.
Oh my God, man! And then since then, like what I realized was after, what's funny? After your session, I couldn't perform at work like how I was performing before. I couldn't fake it. I mean, I could do enough to be honorable, to not steal from anything, to not steal time, to just sit there. It was doing enough. But then there were moments where I was like, I can't do this. This place is not honest. This place has no integrity. This place does not care about the other person on this phone. Mm-hmm. This is all selfishness. And I'm not that kind of being.
Yes. Because you start finding and remembering your true self. And that's who you are. You are beauty, you are power, you are light. So that's what you saw during that session. And that's why, remember, again, you don't align to that place anymore. There is no way. You don't connect. No, you don't. Period. So new opportunities are gonna come aligning to your values. So that's amazing. Those are the side effects of the therapy.
And now I'm like, okay, so now I'm hopping lily pads, as I say it, right? I'm like, okay, I hopped up that lily pad, and right now I'm on my own lily pad. I got the funds that I have, my savings and things like that. And so I'm in this place of true security, because what I had to explain to my fiance was that, listen, a false sense of security is dangerous, because you will put yourself and you will keep yourself in a toxic environment because you think it's secure because of fear. I said, that's not going to be good to any of us. Mm-hmm. We are going to be okay. We're going to be more than okay. This next step, I know I can't see it. I don't know where I'm going to work at. I'm still creating my business with the clothing line, yes. And at the same time, that's like, it's a 1,000-piece puzzle. You know what I mean? So it's broken down. And I think that is intimidating for me because I don't know exactly which piece, but I am slowly slowly embodying new frequencies to approach it so that I can do it with fun and not with force. Not of fear. Exactly. Oh my God, building a business out of fear is like,
but look at you a month ago. Remember that you told me about all those plans, but you told me about those plans from the perspective of fear. Remember that? And look at you now, like, whoa, you make me like, because seeing you without fear factor, that is incredible. That is absolutely key. Because like you say, jumping on lily pads, but then you found yours, the lotus that is going to be opening, like the one that is going to be giving you the light, the wisdom. So that is amazing. It's amazing. So it's a lot to come, and you have so many opportunities, the grants that you can apply to, funds that you can get from your business, and you have the drive to do it. You are hungry for your projects, and you are that entrepreneur that you had the opportunity to grow. So my advice is just keep planning and keep executing, not just dreaming, but planning and writing, and then executing one step at a time. And then you're going to have your business, and you're going to have your prosperity. You're going to have what you truly want, is prosperity. Attract. Before, you were repelling everything that came to your life, and attracting just the drama, just the pain, just the sadness, the depression. But now look at you, you change your vibration, and now you're attracting prosperity, you're attracting love, you're attracting opportunities. That is the most important thing.
And like this is why people need to do this therapy with you. Because when you do this therapy with Monica, and then you do it and like you face it, it's not that, it's not that bad. It's 2 hours, you sit there and you honestly, it's the greatest honor, because you go inside yourself. You have a safe place to really go inside yourself and truly face everything that's fear. So here's the thing, like, people can be in denial all they want, but the thing is, the denial gets loud. We don't live in a world anymore where you can easily hide. Because this awareness of trauma is not just a Brittany and Monica thing. This is happening all over. And even if it might be happening for you silently, even if you feel like you're the only one that kind of is like, wait a minute, what's really, really going on? And you hear those questions that are just not going to be quiet. I'm telling you right now, before it gets loud and really, really bad for you, you might really want to reach out to someone like Monica, who's going to help you navigate that voice and help you navigate. So this way, it's not a volcano of pain and eruption, because, me and my daughter have had those eruptions, and it's literally like a overwhelm, a purge of negative energy that rises up, and it will erupt up out of you, so, and then I think this is where people manifest killing. And I think this is where people manifest, hurting other people, because they push it down so much, and it literally turns them into, a killer. Yes. It turns them into a someone who hurt, and a liar, and a schemer, and a manipulator, and just someone who's just confused. I found that too, like, so much toxicity and just confusion to things that you really, really know about. Oh my God, I released so much on my daughter's grandmother, because, I just couldn't take it anymore. It was like, I refused, and I had no idea if it was the right thing to do or wrong thing to do, but I knew that I needed to give back that energy that they were pouring into my daughter, and give it back in a way, not as a weapon, not to hurt, but as a way that, hey, this isn't ours. This is not ours. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not ours. Do not do this. Make the call. Do not do this. I know what this is going on. And set it. You know what I'm saying? And like, this is, people are so afraid to set boundaries with their toxic father or their toxic mother and things like that. I'm telling you, it has never been a better time for you to be brave enough to say, no, I will not stand for this treatment. I will not stand for this treatment for myself. I will not stand for this treatment for my daughter. We will speak out. We will do this, or we will be cut off. Good. And because there's no harm is harm. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. And I think the biggest challenge is taking that stand with my daughter as well, and saying, hey, listen, like, while you are a certain age, you are my sole responsibility. So it's almost like the hardest thing about parenting is, like, you are literally responsible for their energetic, like, makeup as well.
Totally. But we don't realize that stuff, you don't imagine how many moms I get in my office that they are alcoholics, workaholics, and they just let their kids away. They push them away, and that is not right. But they haven't even realized that. They don't even realize it's not even their fault. But when they
Yeah.
come and face what they need to see, they are like, oh my gosh, now I had to work
Exactly.
with the guilt that they feel, because obviously they feel guilty about the many things that they created in their own kids.
And I realized that, I missed some things. My daughter's 13. I missed some things through her younger years because I was going through my healing. I'm like literally, in my 30s, I'm going through the healing that she's going through at 13. Imagine that, like what she's going through at 13, it's going through a healing. That's why it's familiar and stand with her in it. But I'm like, my God, that means I had 15, 20 years of not, and I'm like getting, knocking it out. And it's because when I decided that I was going to create generational wealth for my family, when I decided that I was going to take on that mission, take on that responsibility, and also know that it's like I'm taking it on, but I was born with it inside of me.
Yes.
So I'm taking it on externally in a sense where I'm like, because I was afraid of it. I was like, how can I create wealth for an entire generation? Like, I'm struggling to pay my rent. Like, how can I, do that from here? But it's like letting go of that narrative and not caring how, knowing that it's mine. I see it. No one else is talking about it. So
Exactly.
no one else kind of gives a shit. So I'm like,
it's your inner dialogue.
Somebody's got to do it,
and that someone is Brit.
And it's like, have I done it yet? No, I haven't. I haven't done it yet, so.
But don't say that, because look at the way that you speak and your mentality. You are so into it that you in your mind, you already manifested. So you just need to make it happen. It's like taking one step at a time, as I told you before, because in your mind it's already there. You created it, so it's here.
It's
so when you
tricky.
say that you see those different worlds, it's here. Your prosperity is already here. So what you're doing is taking the steps for you to make it happen.
That's the surrender that is, man, to anybody out there, man, I am like imploring you to really, really let go. And if you've been thinking about it, like really hit the call, really do it. I'm invested in Monica from a place where, I had enough to do it. I had to prioritize our healing over our debt, or our healing over our credit score, our healing over, just, I think, paid you before pay my car payment. Like, what I'm saying? Like, you get to that place where you feel that self-love so highly that you're like, I feel like a lot of people are paying corporations before they're paying themselves. They are paying, they're doing themselves because they want to do right. But it's like, yo, if you don't take that money and use it as a tool to purchase stuff that's healing, nothing's ever going to change, because Verizon doesn't care about your healing. Your car, Toyota doesn't care about your healing. Like, Walmart, Target, these places don't give a shit about your healing. Your landlord doesn't care about your healing. And it's not to say that you be reckless, but you give yourself, people's like, always pay yourself.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah. And they're like, invest 10% into a 401k. And I'm like, yeah, sure. But you might want to invest in from your heart first. Like, that's always been my mentality. I'm like, okay, if I really just take the years, stop being upset about how long it's taking, stop comparing how, what other people have, what I don't have yet. Stop being shameful and being like, damn, I took the long road. I know I took the long road, but I was upset at the same time about the long road because my ego wants the toys. I want the, the Audi and the car and the clothes. I'm 36. Of course I grew up listening to Jay-Z and all that, of course I want all that stuff. Right. But I was like, well, who do I become if I take that money, ignore my healing, ignore all that, completely feed my ego? Who am I going to become as a wealthy person? It didn't look pretty. Exactly. It didn't when I kind of saw the foresight of that through just connecting some very practical dots. I said, that doesn't look like fulfillment. That looks like a person, that looks like I'm just another rich asshole,
Yes.
That I'm just another, a rich person who's not caring about our planet, who's not caring about other well-being, mankind. Let's not do this. So I'm going to take the long road and just know that I can be prosperous and kind and fulfilled and loving and good and do good with it.
Yes.
Like I can be good and do good with it.
Yes.
I didn't think so at first. I really, God was really, putting some delays on some things because I thought that I needed to become this person that was of force and of evil, in a sense of danger, to have what I wanted. To, if I got to protect this, then I got to hurt over here. In order, I need to snatch and take over here to give to what I created over here. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do. I got to feed my family. I got to do this. So give me this. So I'm going to take from you. And, and like doing that. And I'm like, no, to truly have peace, it is like this recipe of duality that I'm on, to really spin a true recipe of duality and giving myself some grace. Even, so today, right, I woke up today, and of course, like, my workaholism is like, oh, what am I gonna, where's the laptop? Let me get started. I just quit my job. Where's the next one? What am I gonna do? And I'm like, no. Instead, I started looking for like animals. I'm like, I want to see some animals. I want to get in nature today.
Connected.
I want to get connected. I want to walk before I before I just give myself to technology and create from there and get into this digital, financial world and economic shit show that we're in, and like figure that out. I'm going to get connected today, Monica.
Good. You see, that's the purpose that you created for your day, the intention that you created for your day. And look at you, I'm so happy for you. Yes, I'm so happy. And it's amazing, to connect after a month and see you so happy. That makes my heart full. And I do appreciate you, I appreciate you sharing your testimonial and your journey. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, amazing journey. And I know that you're here in this world to do good things, to be of service to others while you are fulfilled. And you cut that chain in your family, and you keep investing in yourself and your family, and keep growing as a person, energetically rising your vibration. And you're doing it. And I'm so proud, so happy for you. You made it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for today's time. So
you're welcome. I pray that this finds someone who really needs it. I found you when I really needed it, and I just want that to pass forward.
Thank you. You're
welcome.
Me too. Thank you, Brit.
Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Okay.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.